Virus is a messenger of the self. A presentation by Professor Gershom Zajcek, Faculty of Medicine, Hebrew University of Jerusalem. I discuss a paper by subtle marine viruses. So here is this ocean which subtle studies. What we see here that there are myriads of viruses, there are myriads of infections, and myriads cells die, and as you will see, everything happens in the ocean during homeostasis. So we are talking about virus Baltimore class 2, and this virus attaches to a receptor of the cell and activates the formation of the provirus. And everything is done in myriad times in a second. So actually what I am describing now is a basic process of this infection, and this basic process I call virus-provirus process. A virus attaches or infects a cell, its genome is uncoated, enters the cytoplasm, and triggers the formation of the provirus in the cell. And the provirus has two tasks. First of all, it controls the formation of virions, and the other task is that the provirus stores the self of the cell, so which means that the set of genes in the provirus carry the information about the self of the cell. And then after the virus started controlling the process of virion formation, the virion with the same kind of self enters the environment and look for other cells to infect, and the cell die in lysis. And what we just heard, that this process is activated myriads of times in these oceans. So what is not so clear, that all these cells which I am now describing live in family, and the family has the one self. All these cells have a different self, and the family, all these cells have the same kind of self. So this is how the family knows, so-called, who belongs to it and who does not belong to it. And what is also important to understand is that the family maintains homeostasis, and the family is an open system, which means that the input and output is equal, because for every new cell which is formed in the family, another cell will die, and therefore there is a homeostasis. And this is possible that we are talking about family which has a self, because if a virus, as we shall see, from a different family tries to infect this family, it will not succeed. So, definition: provirus is a set of genes that stores self of a cell, and virus is a messenger of this self. So here's an example. Two viruses infect a cell. And this virus, which I just described, it turns out that its genome or its self is equals to the self of the provirus, and therefore the whole process of this virus-provirus process will be activated and new viruses with self will be created. But in case, which is here, there's a foreign virus with a different self which attempts to infect the cell. It will not succeed because its self is different than self, and nothing will happen in this infection or non-infection. So you see here that this provirus somehow protects the cell against non-self. So the self stored in the provirus determines the outcome of viral infection. The self stored in the provirus prevents infection by virus carrying non-self. And the self stored in the provirus protect against non-self. So we are here, this is a phenomenon which is generally known as cell-mediated immunity, because cell-mediated immunity is an immune response that does not involve in antibodies. So here you have how cell-mediated immunity is formed and defined. So, conclusion: without self, homeostasis cannot be maintained. And now we know that cell-mediated immunity is an immune response that does not involve antibodies. Adaptive immunity is a response that involves antibodies, and I shall discuss it in future presentation. So I hope you liked it and enjoy.